music. I mean, it really, it just like, y'all, I fuck with y'all, what y'all doing, but it just sound outdated. Like, the new way, you gotta think about the newer generation and what's going on in the culture, it's, that's all I'm saying.
They say that rap changed. Well, I still sport the same clothes. I'm still decked out, don't make me get my cane go. These niggas still rapping about these lame hoes. Well, it's like the saying goes, you gotta have a plan. See, my foundation solid and I stand on it. What else? Niggas waiting for me to fail, don't depend on the bends on it. Them empty frames, where the lens, homie? Cause they gotta be missing. If you think that this the end, homie, yeah. The truth, it make you cringe, don't it? I can't let a culture vulture take a win. If it ain't real, I ain't spitting on it. Fuck if you dig it, homie. I gotta paint a picture, gotta put a vision on what happened to the storytellers. All I hear is boys yelling. Them niggas super born, really they just ordinary. And their fans, they don't expect much, they don't make them stand up. I really think they wouldn't care if they ain't had us. This shit is sad, bro. And they don't care about no lyrics, man.
Man, fuck no, man. People just wanna turn up these days, man. Ain't nobody rapping like that no more, man. Y'all niggas played out. We just wanna get lit, man. Pop pills, man. Have a good time, man. Want y'all niggas chill. Y'all done had y'all time. It's our time, nigga. Yeah. Fuck that old school shit. Fuck that old school shit.
Look, they ain't rapping, call that emo thuggin'. For the last album, we did king shit. For the next one, I'ma drop a toe and repost something. Get it back to where it's supposed to be.
Just wanna get lit, man. Pop pills, man. Have a good time.
They look at me like I'm an outcast, my word is born. They look at me like I'm the old man on the porch, like don't run through my lawn. A nigga, I'm getting sick of this tough guy talk, that's just my thought. Shit, he played the game and one guy lost. You put your hand on that stove if you want to, it's gon' burn you. But after that, that's gon' learn you. They want that toxic, they want that nonsense. I'm convinced it's not hard to see. Gang, gang, bang, bang. That's your claim to fame. Flame firing out that 05. Spin around the block a few more times. Soundtrack to the blacktop bar, no lies. Cynical renditions of genocide. They drilling on this block, call it hi-hat double time. Drum roll, let it pop, pop, then ride out. Ride out, yeah.
You going crazy.
They say that they need some aggression. Well, that's just a form of expression. I guess I'll deliver this message, cause I gotta teach them a lesson. I try to be big and just give them suggestions, cause niggas be talking so reckless. I'm getting tired of the mad. Now nigga done had it. Grab that strap and go. Yeah, we in the building, man. Welcome to the live, man. We are simulcasting from Bossman Blake's page and the bank page.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We see all the comments as well. It's not, we're not just looking at one, we looking at both here. So everybody will be seen.
Absolutely. Salute to the people already in the building. We got Emma in the building. Nikki New, aka Professor Cupcake, in the building.
It's good.
So yeah, we wanted to go live this evening and talk about a couple of things that's going on in the world today. I'm quite sure the main story you all have heard, and me and Jizzle just was cracking up a little bit ago, talking about, and this is no racist shit, but we have to talk about it. White women who actually name is Karen.
Yeah, it's
and they're not prejudiced or racist.
Right.
Hate that shit.
Yeah, the reason why I say that, man, because it's a chick at my job, an older lady. I shouldn't say chick. I shouldn't say that. She go by Miss K because of this whole stigma. She, in the words of her real name is Karen, but she does not even go by Karen anymore. She goes by K. In the words of K, she says, "I don't want to be attached to this foolishness."
Can you blame her?
I cannot blame her. I cannot blame. That's crazy though that you'll change your whole. Cause yeah, it's such. Someone says Karen, and it's an immediate definition that's tied to that whole name and that whole. You know exactly what you talk, Karen. You know exactly what we talking about.
Hell yeah, that's crazy.
Man.
Yeah, shout out to all the Karens that ain't racist.
Right. Most definitely, and she's a nice lady, man. Nice woman. I met her husband and everything. He came, did some work with me and everything. So, D Love, I see in the building. Salute.
Hey, D Love, you over there on my page by yourself. Seems like everybody came to the bank page. But hey, it don't matter where you come, as long as you're here and you yeah, man. So yeah. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into things, man, and watch the first clip, and we're gonna discuss it. Now, this is an open panel, man. You know, we here. You always welcome to come up here and voice your opinion. Always remember that. You feel me?
Oh
So,
yeah.
if you want to, I forgot I gotta drop the link. Give me 1 second. Let me go and put that link in the chat before we get started. What's up, Miss Tamika? Candy.
Candy.
Yeah, they in the building, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's get to it, man. Here's the first one, man. This is this lady is from Florida. She shot a black woman through her door. Matter of fact, let's just get to it, man. I ain't gonna do no talking.
New video this morning shows a woman in handcuffs after allegedly shooting her neighbor through her own front door. 58-year-old Susan Lawrence is charged with manslaughter with a firearm, a first-degree felony with a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison. This is Lawrence's mugshot. Fox 35 got it minutes before 1 o'clock this morning. First appearance begins at 9 a.m. We are in contact with jail officials about whether she is scheduled for that time. The arrest follows a day of protest over the death of A.J. Owens, who was killed after being shot through her neighbor's door.
Yeah, the pair were allegedly in a dispute over a children's tablet as well. And Randy Hildreth is live outside the Marion County Jail this morning. Randy, the sheriff has spoken exclusively with Fox 35 about the arrest and the ongoing feud between these two neighbors.
Hey, good morning to you both. And one of the more difficult pieces of information that's come out of this investigation is that Owens's children were key witnesses in piecing this story together. I do want to break down the very latest that we got from the sheriff's office in the series of events that unfolded that day that ultimately led to Owens being shot. Now, one of the things that the sheriff's office has said is that Lawrence was angry at Owens's children who were playing in a field near her home. We're told that she started yelling at them, which was overheard by a neighbor. One witness says that Lawrence used racial slurs towards the children. Deputies confirmed she threw a roller skate at the children and one was hit. And they do say it an older sibling of Owens went to the home first to talk to Lawrence, and she swung an umbrella at them. And that's when they say Owens went to the home and knocked on the door. They say Lawrence fired one shot through the closed front door and it hit Owens in her chest with her 10-year-old standing next to her. I want to show viewers that mugshot again that we got overnight. Now, Lawrence claimed that the shooting was self-defense and that Owens tried to break down her door, but investigators say between witness statements and surveillance video, that was not true, and Florida's stand your ground law doesn't work in this case. In that exclusive interview with Sheriff Billy Woods, he acknowledged the growing calls for Lawrence's arrest, including protests yesterday, but he said investigators needed more time to go through everything.
We know the direction is going, and we can't give out information, and it's difficult because here's the truth. Did we want to make the arrest that night? Absolutely we did. There's no doubt about it. It's tragic when we see somebody that just shoots through a door and shoots another human being, really just because of a neighborhood squabble.
Now, Attorney Benjamin Crump attorney who is representing the family, released a statement. He is pushing for continued accountability as they continue to work through this investigation. He called in question the stand your ground law. He is expected to have a news conference at noon today with Owens' family. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, I'll have more reaction.
All right, so as you heard, now, did I hear correctly? She's been charged with manslaughter, if I'm not correct.
Manslaughter, felony 1.
So, okay, so there's a question in the chat from Ms. Candy K, and she asks, why hasn't she been charged with a hate crime? Now, I don't know if Florida has that. I know Georgia do, because we did that with the Ahmaud Arbery case. Let me ask you, Jizzle, if I don't know if Florida do or not, but if they do you think there's enough evidence to say that this was a hate crime? Now, I answered her question, and then I asked her a question, excuse me, and then I seen that they said she yelled out racist.
Right. Right.
So what you think, bro?
I mean, if we're gonna go by letters of law, if that is the case, that the Florida does have it, then you would think that it would be that it would be tied to it because of the racist slurs that were heard. Now, when it comes to the neighbors, because neighbors had footage and there was claims of. Let me get this other video. I'm gonna get this other video that kind of I think says a little more, but
Okay. D Love says because there's not a hate crime bill for us. I'm assuming D Love you are in Florida because we do have a hate crime here in Georgia. Candy Kane say charge that ass. What up, Blue Devil? Salute, bro.
So it would be if it's a bill something that Biden didn't, then yeah, it would be a federal thing, and I'm not clear on if that's a state to state thing. And from Boss, what you saying, it sounds like it is, but it sounds like something that maybe should be a nationwide federal type thing. Leonard, the Yuta in the building.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, fam? Appreciate you for sliding. I truly feel like it should be a nationwide. Well, I mean nationwide, or at least in the United States, because I mean, I guess because you got to realize every state you can't smoke weed, you can't carry weed, so
Right.
you know the laws are different from state to state.
Right.
I'm pretty sure every law don't have a hate crime, but I can say Georgia do because that's why the McMichaels are behind bars now and they're serving life in prison. In this case, I agree. This was a hate crime. She's yelling out racial slurs to fucking kids, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Waving an umbrella at the kids or some shit, which is, a threatening. And for that to escalate after, I mean, what would you do if your kids came back? Kids playing people line. That's the old and that's crazy. It's the old cliche adage of kids playing in the old person line. I don't know if y'all seen Gran Torino. Like it's the old, it's the classic adage that goes on. Kids playing in somebody's line. They get yelled at. The parents don't like how they getting talked to, especially if the kids come back telling you they done called their kids some niggas. Okay, she gonna go over there and talk with them. Now, as far as not even getting to the conversation, like there was not even. And I hate to laugh, but golly, there was not even a conversation that was had. It was just bow through the door.
Do you remember? And it's crazy that you just brought up, the kids playing on people's lawn. Do you remember what we just played, bro?
I feel like the old man
on my lawn.
like the old man on the porch, like don't run through my lawn. That was the actual bar from the song we played at the beginning. But and that I was talking about, about the whole music situation, like how I feel like I'm an old head in music, and the new generation is like the analogy was the new generation that of music, and I feel like to them, I'm like the old man on the porch, like don't run through my lawn, like.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I get what you were saying, but who
right,
else did that shit? Stanley, get off my lawn, please.
right,
Off of Friday.
right. And
But
it's a simple thing. And of course, you teach your kids not to do this, not to do that. They kids and they playing. It's like it's crazy.
yeah, I just it was just a story recently where I think a black kid went to the wrong house, bro, and knocked on this man's door looking for his little sister. He was going to pick his sister up from, I guess, a neighbor's house. He went to the wrong house, and the white man killed him. You know what I'm saying? These are not accidents, people. These are not coincidence, people. They doing what they want to do and what they always wanted to do, because a kid, a
I'm a
kid walk to your door, a kid is playing on your lawn, it's a problem. And now that the parent is coming to talk to you, I mean, you have to pull out a gun? Come on, man. This is not a coincidence.
it may say in the chat this was an ongoing event. This isn't the first incident, and I believe that because that's these neighborhood spats, man, with these rows of houses, back to back houses, man. This type of shit, it happens. Different people, kids, and so it does happen. Cupcake say everybody has hate crime protections if they're in a protected class. Quotations protected class. So I kind of get what that means.
Yeah.
She also says Florida has hate crime codes.
What does that mean? That you threw me for a loop for that, because if they don't have a hate crime, what does that mean? If you're welcome to come up here. I don't have to tell you that. But if you want to explain that, I definitely need some explanation, because you say hate crime code versus a hate crime law. I need you to
Or
break
bill.
a bill, right?
I don't know the difference between code, bill, law. I'm ignorant to those terminologies.
Most definitely. I know I am. But yeah.
Trying to find this other one, and it's not in my history for some reason, which is crazy because I just had it pulled up.
I'm I like to play Indisputed, because I like to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, run that. I forgot. Yeah, go and run that shit, I guess.
Let me go ahead and play that real quick.
We found Sprizzy.
I'm gonna check out Indisputed, because I love the way he narrate the story. And hold on, we're gonna put that on pause real quick, because I think we got Nikki New just slid through the door. What's going on, Professor Cupcake?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just explain what I just said. Protected class just means anyone who has civil rights protections. So that would mean people in ethnic categories, racial categories, like I'm disabled. I have civil rights protections. So that, like, everybody in this country who's in a racial category, women have them, people who are disabled have them. And what happened in the last, let's see, when we had the Asian hate crime bill that was passed, what was unfortunate is that we had people like Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, Taz exclusives, who were going around screaming about how they were getting civil rights protections, but blacks didn't have them. And that's incorrect. That civil rights bill, or that hate crime bill that was passed, was just so that they could get the money to put out information about that in 42 different languages to stop the rise in hate crime. So, like, a lot of times people don't understand, like, you already have these protections. And those categories are federal. Like, you have those protections at the federal level. So, nearly all states will have the ability to prosecute for hate crimes. The only difference is that when you report hate crimes every year, states don't have to report those. So that's why it looks like in some states you have a higher level of hate crimes than you would in others, because some states don't report them because they don't have to report them to the federal government. But that woman who was shot, she has civil rights protections. So if the state of Florida wants to add hate crimes, they can.
So let me ask you this. So I know you just said sometimes, most of the times they don't report them, but being that this has made national news, why wouldn't they report this?
Oh, well, I'll just explain that. Like, if you look at the national hate crime averages every year, like Washington, D.C. is reported as being one of the places in the United States with the highest level of them. But a lot of red states, they don't report hate crime statistics. Most blue states do. It's like a liberty. You know how we have separation between the federal government and the state government. It's just one of those luxuries that you have as a state if you don't want to report your hate crime statistics to the federal government. That's why they're skewed across the board. But everybody has civil rights protections. It doesn't matter if your state reports them to the national government or not. You have them.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about far as reporting, just reporting them that happened.
Yeah,
So
it would be like similar to states reporting their crime data.
right, okay. Now I get what you're saying. Okay, so being that you said there are hate crime codes in this particular situation, what could this family do? Being that Florida don't have a hate crime law, but there are hate
They do.
codes. They do?
They do. When I said codes, okay, like if you're at somebody's trial or you're looking at somebody's paperwork, when the crime is listed, there's a code next to it, criminal code. Okay, so it's like if you break into somebody's home or something like that, like armed robbery or something, it'll be like criminal code 75.4867. That's the code. Every crime has a code. Okay.
Right,
So
right.
what I'm suggesting is that Florida does have hate crime provisions. Whether they choose to use them or not is going to be the choice of the DA. But
It's the amount of attention that it is getting. I'm thinking that they're gonna go all the way up through that motion.
yeah,
Dookie Badass in the building. What's good? What's good?
yeah, like when you had Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, one of the things that was happening in the very beginning was that they just weren't treating it like it was a crime or anything like that until the federal government stepped in and said, "Oh no, that's not going to go on down here. This is actually going to get handled." And so when that happened, that's when you saw like hate crimes charges added and stuff. So, and what I heard I think it was one of the sheriffs say is that when you have stand your ground offenses or somebody's going to use the stand your ground defense or something like that, there like in that bill, there's different arresting procedures than there would be for something else. And he said that was one of the reasons why, like, I don't know anything too much about the stand your ground. But I mean, obviously today, Travis Rudolph was just found not guilty. And that was a case where it was like in Florida where they, where the stand your ground kind of defense was a little bit fuzzy, but he was found not guilty on all 4 counts.
And
You know,
this is through the door. So, it's the whole castle doctrine where, if someone, enters, I don't know if it's in the house or on the property, but this woman, you know, she would have had to see through her peephole this woman holding the door for this to be considered stand your ground. Like, someone knocking on you can't just shoot people who knock on your door.
no.
That's there's limitations to it now.
Yeah, well, Karen better have a ring camera that shows that woman banging and kicking on
Right.
that door. Like, if she doesn't have that kind of footage, it's going to be, it's going to be very uh, impossible to kind of argue that.
That shit,
So
people. Go ahead, boss.
my fault, my fault. So my question is, why is she charged with manslaughter instead of murder?
Okay. I could be wrong about this, but um, a lot of times the initial charge is not the charge that somebody ends up being taken to trial on. A lot of times the initial charge that they'll charge somebody with is enough to get them arrested while they continue to do um, enough investigation to figure
Right.
out what the final charge is going to be. This happens a lot in crimes where um, there's multiple people involved, but they need to get somebody through the door to be arrested to kind of start the chain of command of like breaking down the other people. So, like, somebody who, if there was an armed robbery and somebody was shot and killed, and there was 3 people involved, they might pull one person through the door and charge them with, I don't know, like menacing or armed robbery, but they wouldn't charge them necessarily with the murder. You know what I mean? So the first charge that somebody gets is not always the one they're going to be tried on.
And just for Google's sake, it basically looks like it says the lack of malice or killing lies with decreased moral blame, and this is when it comes to manslaughter, and it says also known as third degree murder. It says it's decreased moral blame when compared to murder. So it says the sentence of manslaughter is typically less than it. So yeah, the key words I see is there's a certain amount of decreased moral blame when it comes to putting the title of murder on it when it comes to manslaughter. So morally, it's not as that's a little thrown off to me, but
Yeah.
So that brings me to this question, and also I want to make a statement as well. But Nikki, you had just said, I think you said if they had, ring footage of her kicking or bamming at the door like she's trying to get in, I think threatening, yeah. I mean, that would make it legit to say it stands your ground. And like D Love said, you can if they try to breach your premises. So, do you think that there's footage of that? Because I mean, I know what they charged her with. They charged her with manslaughter, but I feel like she should be charged with murder. But the fact that they charged her, period, that makes me think that that's not the case.
Yeah.
and how fast it came.
Yeah, I don't know whether there is camera footage of it or not on the woman, on, for lack of a better term, Karen's house. Um, but they may be going around to all the other neighbors to see who else has camera footage. Like if there was a ring camera on my front door, which won't say whether there is or isn't, um, it would catch footage on at least 4 other houses around me, directly like their front door.
Right. And that happens a lot actually. Like it's a lot of footage that comes out just because the neighbor got a camera. Like
Yeah. So and I don't know, because a lot of states, I would imagine Florida has very, very liberal laws about where and when you can kind of use your gun just because of the way it is down there. But like even in states like New York, if somebody breaks into your house and they're on their way out, they're fleeing the premise. Like if you shoot them, there
Right.
are problems. Like all states have different kind of gun laws, and of course, most people are using guns, in some kind of self-defense type of a manner. So those gun laws are going to interact with what would be reasonable for self-defense or not. So it's a you know it's a wild card when and if you can use a
Yeah.
gun,
Right.
and they're
I
going to
mean,
say it's okay.
right. Because from one moment, someone's charging you to a light bulb go off in the person charging, they turn their back and start running out, and you shoot them while they running out, and they got ballistics proving that that's what's happened. Then it's gonna change just on an instant, just because they running backwards. Like,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Like, but with this, man, hey, yeah. This could have been, she seen through the people. She knew who was at her door. Because if it was a Chinese restaurant or some Mormons out there, they wouldn't have got shot. So the intent, when it comes to murder, there's the word intent gets brought up. And, even when it comes to first degree, the words, what do they say with first degree? The premeditated. And when,
Yeah.
you go into it, these squabbles, as the officer said, they squabbles of, when you say squabble, this is something I don't think this just popped up in one day.
No.
The first day the kids played in the line.
No.
I think this woman was fed the fuck up with these kids in her damn lawn.
Yeah, and I'm not justifying anything, but I lived in Florida. I lived in a gated community in Florida, and I moved in next door to a woman who just right from the start was pissed off that I lived next door to her. I don't know what her fucking problem was. She just always had a problem with me, and her kids would come over and like tear shit up on my lawn. So I told her, keep your kids off my lawn. I'm gonna tell you what. There was one afternoon where I'm sitting in my house and I'm hearing bang, bang, bang. This woman had taken a lawn chair, sitting at the end of my driveway with her two kids who had tennis rackets and were hitting balls at my garage door.
Yeah, that's wild.
You
You
know what
go
I'm
so
saying?
far.
Like,
We gonna have to talk a little bit. Let's just talk.
yeah, like this is crazy, lady. And so usually a lot of times women, I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist or whatever, but sometimes if there's a man involved, he does a better job of laying down the law. Okay?
Right.
He'll do a better job of going and saying, I don't want your kids on my lawn, or I don't want you talking to my kids this way. My ex-husband used to do this to me a lot, or do this for me a lot. Like if someone would aggress upon me in some type of way, if it was a neighbor, he would go, knock on their door, very pleasantly talk to them, but be very stern about the situation, and it would be over. But it didn't matter what I said to the person. So a lot of times with women, there can just kind of be this endless back and forth, that kind of goes on, but you can't go around shooting people.
Right.
You just
So,
can't do that.
well, that brings me to a question, and this is a serious question, and I'm gonna address it to both of you on the panel with me, and also the chat. And so let me just do it like this. What could this mother have done different to avoid such a tragic ending? You know what I'm saying? As a mother or as a father, we're going to protect our kids. We're
Right.
not going to let nobody do anything to our kids, and sometimes we may react the wrong way. First, do you think she reacted wrong? Maybe she should have involved law enforcement. I'm gonna start with you, Jizzle. What you think, man?
As far as what the woman who knocked on the door did,
Yes, I guess that was the mother of the kids, right?
right? And
Yeah,
in front of her, yeah, it may to get shot in front of your kid. I think they said the kid was like 10 or something.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, what could she have done differently? Like, she waving umbrellas, the racial slurs. What is the natural react? I hate to answer a question with a question, but I think the question, what is a natural reaction of someone, your neighbor doing this, acting out like this, to your kids, calling racial slurs to your kid? What is a natural reaction for a parent in that situation? What else would there be? I don't know what else would there be but to knock on their door. And even if you got to check your tone and all that, and maybe she might have been a little rah rah with it, might have came. We don't know because we ain't seen.
Right. Um, that's a great question to the question, and I ain't mad at it. Um, I think that's a natural reaction for any parent that love their kids, who stand 10 toes on protecting their kids. Um, but as you see in the chat, Dookie Badass brought up one of the things I was thinking. Just call the
Call the
police.
police.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, what is the police gonna do because a neighbor was yelling racial slurs to your kid? What is the police gonna do because they had an umbrella waving it inside of their home? I don't know if it was outside or inside of the home or not. I didn't get to
Right.
that. But what were they gonna do about that? Nothing.
Right. It would. It
Don't
would.
assume that. Okay. The only reason why I say do not assume that is because what's happening now is that we're trying, like, yes, we have every reason to be very skeptical of the police, to not want to involve them. I mean, I lived through an incident that traumatized me for like a whole fucking decade. But what I understand now is that people do not do a decent job of solving their problems. The problems persist. So, like, for years, I was just like, don't call them, don't involve them. I don't want them in my house anytime they had to be here. Like, I was freaked out. Now, where I live right now, I've had no other choice but to call them several times because of kind of like what's been going on here. They've been very reasonable. You know what I mean? Like, at least in my instance, they have went and spoken to people and been like, leave her alone. Like, they can't arrest those people, but you got this older woman who clearly is enraged about whatever's going on. She's going off, everything like that. You can't control her. There's almost no there's almost no effect for the positive that you can expect to have after a confrontation with her personally. There,
Right.
that's the thing we have to start understanding is we have this idea of like, well, I'm gonna go and handle this.
Right.
They don't have to do shit you tell them to do.
Right.
Nothing.
And
Right.
I do think it would have been a warning. Like, it would have been a check. I think she would have got checked once they came out. She would have got checked, and she would have been like, hold on, I need to chill out a little bit.
Possible.
Right. Right. But the thing is, of course, like you said, it would have been a warning check. Hey, don't do that. Blah blah blah. The kids go back on the lawn again, and she do it again. What do you think that mother's going to do at that point, being that she took the proper steps the first time and called the law, and this lady still she's still acting stupid. This mother's gonna get fed up, and it's gonna be a natural reaction to I'm gonna handle this shit myself, just like you just stated.
Yeah.
So
Right.
is it almost like damn near a lose-lose situation? I don't
It's
know.
I think it's a lose-lose situation if I try and solve the problem. Because the person doesn't have to do shit that I tell them to do. And the
Right.
minute that they go off on me, I'm probably going to go off the fuck on them. You know what I mean? It's just going to make the whole situation worse. Like, I wish that I didn't have to deal with a lot of things that I have had to deal with, but I've had, and they haven't gotten better until it escalated to another level. And I don't want to hold anyone in blame here, but I'll tell you the one thing that you do not do is if you plan and expect for there to be a confrontation, do not take your children with you. We now have a child who has watched their mother be shot to death. Okay? That child is going to be
Well,
scarred.
I don't.
Yeah, don't. If you think that there's going to be a confrontation, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. I
don't
see what you're saying.
don't put a child in the line of fire potentially like that, even if it's just a verbal confrontation, because children cannot protect themselves.
And I don't know. I don't know what. And what's good, Barcalar in the building? What's good? I don't know. The kids might have been 50 yards away, and they were just watching. Like, I don't know, but I do understand that. Like, let me get these kids in the house so I can go do this real quick.
Yeah, because what I understood from just what I heard on the news or whatnot is that one of the children, was with her on the doorstep when this happened. So that's what I'm saying about, like, if you think there's going to be a confrontation,
Right.
something could pop off. You keep
And
children away from the
I
house.
agree with that. I do. I definitely do agree with that.
We don't expect to go, try to resolve something. And like I said, I don't know what her approach was, but we don't expect to go try to resolve a situation and someone pull a gun just by communicating with them. So I don't think she expected this to happen. You know what I'm saying? But
Hell no.
nowadays you have to expect the unexpected with the
Right.
way the world is.
That's
That's right.
fucked up.
But I think I'm not blaming the mother for doing what she did. Let me just put that out there first and foremost, because she's doing anything I think a real parent would do. Is, hey, I'm going to protect my kid from this lady. You're not going to do this to my kid.
Or resolve this. Let's resolve this.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
what can we do to resolve this? And I know the lady would probably say, well, keep your damn kids off my grass, or whatever the case may be. But she has to understand these are kids, not
Right.
folks, not animals.
Right.
These
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
kids, man.
Black
So
kids, though,
Yeah.
that holds a less of a you know.
I mean, at this point in life, I every time I go out in public, I assume there are guns all around me. Um, I assume there are guns in cars that are all around me. I assume that there are guns inside all the homes around me. I just assume there are guns everywhere. Because if you look at the statistics in the United States about the number of guns that are actually owned, if you look at those, you'll start to say, oh shit, there's guns everywhere. And that somebody will pull a gun on you. That's the other thing, too, is that, like, nobody waves the white flag anymore. Nobody.
I agree. And
No, no,
I done waved the white flag, but plenty of time. Road rage, people be pissed off and shit. I'll be like, man, I just got off work. I'm trying to go get me something to eat. What you
yeah.
hooting and hollering?
And
Like, oh, you gotta do that.
we live in like such a pressure cooker, and we're all so stressed that, like, de-escalation of any sort, even to save our own skin or whatnot, it's like out the window. You know what I mean? Like what is happening is so sad, but we have to assume that we live as endangered people just as we walk around.
I agree. I'm gonna give you a quick little story, real quick, that happened to me yesterday. A guy at my job we had to fire because he threatened one of our employees. He was an employee at the time. He got mad because she told on him for what he did. He threatened her. I told him, I said, you can't come back on this property because you threatened this old lady.
Right.
And he came back a few days later, and I took the proper procedures, told my boss, and they were temporary, so they called the temp service. She called him, get off the property. He wouldn't. She called him again. He wouldn't. So I said, I tell you what, fuck it. I said, listen, man, you don't want them to call the police, man. So just go ahead and leave. So he went to popping off at the mouth. Now, I'm 6'1", 255 pounds. He probably 6 foot, probably about 215.
Right.
Now, me personally, I don't underestimate nobody, but in my head, I will beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? But he went to popping off, talking big shit. Don't follow me. Don't you follow me. I said, well, I just need you to leave. In
God,
my
man.
head, I'm thinking like, he ain't scared of you for a reason, Blake. Chill out.
Yeah.
Right.
Chill out. Chill out. You don't know what's on him. So that's where my head went instantly. So I kind of backed back, not in fear of him, but what he has. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was me thinking as survival. Because this
Right.
motherfucker, he know he can't beat my ass.
And
He
is it
know,
worth it? Like
you
the
know.
worth it? Is it worth it even going through that? Like,
Mm-hmm. But he
as
walked off, and that was the end of the discussion. I feel like I survived.
Cool.
Yeah.
But as far as someone like MA say, she couldn't have done anything differently, and I respect that as well. And I don't have kids, so maybe my like just call the police type of thing. For someone who does have kids, maybe it's a little different. That's why I don't blame her for going over to knock on the door, like, because I understand what comes with that, someone dealing with your kids and all that. So
Right. I mean, yeah, we definitely not blaming the mother for what she did, because I think that's just a natural reaction, if you ask me, if you're a good parent. But yeah. So yeah. Anything else y'all want to hit on before we move to the next topic?
yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. Like Cupcake said, when it comes to are these the charges that will be the ones that actually stick? Who's to say? But we shall see.
Yeah, I don't I don't want to sound negative, but I don't think they're gonna change. I hope they
Yeah,
do, but I don't think they're gonna change, bro.
and I understand where you're coming from. They taking into account, oh, she's 58 and she has, who knows, but they took swift action, because I think the video I put up was 10 hours ago, and I think it happened at 1 a.m. and that was 10 hours ago that video was up and she was in cuffs. So there was swift action taken. They might have, I don't know the details, but they did do something. So, but the link is there if anybody want to come up and I guess touch on this. We probably about to switch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we, you're welcome to come up anytime. Even if we switch topics, we definitely want everybody to have the opportunity to speak their piece.
Right.
But at the meantime, I think we've covered everything on this particular topic.
Yeah.
And we have another one, which while Jay sent this to me today, and man, I don't know if you guys saw this. Oh my goodness. But this man right here was the most unluckiest man I ever seen in my life, man. So we
Crazy.
gonna go this one right here. Let me go ahead and put the title up on here. Make sure did I put the title down here somewhere? If I didn't, yeah, here it is. Man, please. Okay. So this is a man who flees from the police, and it ends tragically. But you have to watch what happens prior to him fleeing. And you tell me what you think is wrong with this.
That's a good preface, boss. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a good preface.
All right, let's check it out, man. It's not a laughing matter, so don't take it that
Nah, but
car! Get out of the car! He just took off. He's rammed the sign.
can you turn it up a little? Or is that...
It's a red Volvo. He just went down.
A Colorado driver is killed during a traffic stop, moments after being tased and speeding off from the cops.
He's running across I-70 right now. He just got hit. He just got hit. Send medics now.
All this just minutes after the driver expresses concern for standing in the middle of the road.
Let's go to the road right here, right?
Yep, I got this lane here.
The Colorado State Patrol released body and dash camera footage from the deadly crash on June 1st. Shortly before 2 o'clock that morning, a trooper noticed a wrong-way driver in the city of Golden.
Okay. I'm trying to get back up to Blackhawk, but it's all messed up. I don't know.
Body camera video shows the trooper approaching the driver, who begins talking about nearby road construction.
Okay. What's all messed up?
The roads are all under construction and whatnot, you know?
Okay. How'd you get on this side of the road?
Oh, well, I actually just flipped around right here. I'm pretty sure you saw me.
Yeah. I'm just saying, when did you get on this?
I literally just flipped around right here.
You flipped around?
Yeah, like, I thought I could just come back this way, but apparently not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely not.
The trooper then asks for the driver's license.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, you got your driver's license on you?
Yeah, I do.
One of those things.
Actually,
I'm sorry, I had a wrong way driver. It's going to be the I-70 westbound exit to C-470 eastbound. I'll get you up to date here in just a second.
Yeah. Where's I going?
Someone's available, but I think we're okay right now. You got your driver's license?
Yeah. Let's see. Can you give my name?
Yeah.
Because I don't have my license actually on me.
You have an ID on you?
I don't have an ID on me.
Okay.
Just gonna turn around real quick.
What's that?
Just turn around real quick.
No, just hang tight.
After this, the driver notes they should step out of the road, likely for fear of being hit by oncoming traffic.
Let's go to the road right here, right?
Yep, I got this lane here. Just stay here. Hold on. Don't get back in the car. Don't get back in the car.
You see that police just ride past?
Don't get back.
I just seen that shit. I done watched this shit before, but that's the first time I seen that shit. A sheriff just rolled past directly after he says, talking about the traffic and how he want to turn around. A sheriff drive past, but he hasn't yet told the people on the radio that he needs somebody. He's like, if somebody's available, but at this point, blah, blah, blah. And then the sheriff drove past.
I missed it. Good eyes. I totally missed it.
If you go back like 10 seconds, you will see that sheriff drive past right there. But at this point, there was not a threat to him. He didn't feel like it was a traffic stop to him. Someone going up the wrong way, you know, it happens. So I understand it. It's just a coincidence. It's crazy how it ends and that the sheriff actually drove past at this moment. So yeah.
All right, let's check it out.
Go back
of being hit by
a little
traffic.
more, because that was the attempt.
Yeah. Let's see.
Watch on the right.
Can you give my name?
Yeah.
Because I don't have my license actually on me.
You have an ID on you?
I don't have an ID on me.
Okay.
Just gonna turn around real quick.
What's that?
Just turn around real quick.
No, just hang tight.
After this, the driver notes they should step out of
Watch.
the road.
Sheriff, you see that?
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Likely for fear of being hit by oncoming traffic.
Let's go to the road right here, right?
Yep, I got this lane here. Just stay here. Hold on. Don't get back in the car. Don't get back in the car.
Hey,
don't get back in the car.
And that's the
Don't
first.
get back in
That's
the car. No, you're not flipping it around. Step out of the car. You're not flipping around. Get out of the car.
As the traffic stop continues, the driver continues to resist the trooper, ignoring his commands and instead demanding a cigarette. Eventually, the trooper attempts to detain him.
Hang on, man.
Yeah, send me cover.
Flip it down, man.
No, don't get back in the car. Come over here. Come over here.
Where do you want me to go? Sorry,
I want you to go right here.
Okay. I think I'll stay with these cars coming this way.
Yeah, have a seat on that for me.
That's the only
Have a seat on
thing.
that for me.
That's the only thing he did.
You can have a
That's right, D-Love.
Go ahead. What'd you say, bro?
Nah, I said this coming up is the only thing that he does. Count how long that he does not, or how many commands that he does not follow from this officer. The only thing he does is the sitting down. Everything else this officer says do, he is not going to comply.
Absolutely.
Cigarette, have a seat on that.
All
right. Okay. You got anything in your pockets?
No.
Okay, let me check. Don't dig in your pockets for me. Don't dig in your pockets, man. Come on, man. Stop.
That's all I have.
Put your hands behind your back.
I don't have a cell phone.
Put your hands behind your back for me.
Dude, I don't have a cell phone.
I don't care. Put your hands behind your back. I'm just detaining you right now. I'm detaining you right now. Don't fight with me. Don't fight with me.
Can I get a cigarette, please, sir?
No.
No,
We're
I need a
past that.
cigarette.
You're not listening,
Dude,
bro.
I need a cigarette.
Stop. Don't fight
Dude,
me.
I need a cigarette.
Don't fight me.
Don't bring this on, dude.
Don't fight me,
Dude,
man.
please don't stop.
Look like new in the building.
Real quick, to welcome my brother New to the building.
What up, y'all?
Cool and bro. And while I got to pause to take this opportunity, because I know New once he continue to watch this, I don't know how long you been here, New.
I just got here.
But if y'all have watched this, which I'm pretty sure y'all have, y'all seen all the commands and the non-compliance from this guy.
The whole time.
Let this have been me, New, or YJ. I'm going to leave that right there. Let's continue to watch.
Stop. Dude, stop. No. Stop. 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 Stop.
Stop, dude. I need a cigarette, bro.
No, you stop.
I need a cigarette.
Give me,
Calm down.
No.
Calm down, dude.
No.
Dude, I
We're
need a
past
cigarette.
that. We're
Dude,
past
stop.
that. We're past
Stop.
that. Just I'm not putting you in arrest. I'm just detaining you right now. Stop.
I need a cigarette bad, dude.
No. Stop.
Listen, we're gonna give him a vaporizer, bro. Stop.
No.
Stop.
No.
Please.
Stop.
All right. What do you want me to do?
Stop reaching pockets. That's what I want you to stop doing.
Come on, dude. Here.
Okay.
So I have.
Okay. Don't reach in your pockets. Quit. Stop.
What do you want me to do?
But think how nervous. Think how nervous.
I don't want to be in handcuffs.
As a policeman, think of how nervous. You see how fidgety he is and how he just constantly reaching in his pockets. Think how nervous a police officer would be in this situation. That's all I want to throw out.
I mean, I'm just sitting here.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Deacon. Go ahead, Nikki.
I'm just sitting here with my mouth open. Like, this guy is like telling a cop he needs a cigarette. Like, this is crazy. Crazy.
All right, let's check it out.
I'm not going to handcuffs right now.
I can't trust you right now, man.
But the driver heads back to his vehicle, getting out a cigarette.
Come on, bro.
Stop. What are you doing in your car? Stop.
See how fast?
You're gonna get tased.
Dude, stop. I got a cigarette, bro.
Want to tase the point? Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
He hopped over that console quick.
Get out of the car.
He did get out though.
Do you want a career with a company that values you?
I don't care if he got it. I don't care if he got out or not. He jumped over that seat in a millisecond.
He did, right. That shit was
Look
The driver still does not listen to the trooper's demands. He's tased.
He shut that door.
Stop. You're going to get tased.
Stop, dude.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Hey, you looking right at his face.
Hey, fire the taser again, but before that, the driver takes off.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Now you're going to get tased again. Stop. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Now, this is why I say he's the luckiest, unluckiest man alive. Now, just go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I'm reading the title now up top. Now I just gotta watch. That's all.
All right, check it out. Check the ending out. Which y'all seen the ending at the very beginning, but we're gonna watch it now.
Whenever 6, he's taking off on his car.
Body camera footage from a backup trooper shows the same moment from a different angle, showing the drivers speed off.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! No, you're gonna get tased again. Stop. Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
He thought he was going somewhere.
He just took off. He's rammed the sign.
Dash camera footage also captures the mayhem.
The CS2 radio channel looks like they did deploy taser.
Immediately after the man drives off, troopers begin to run after him.
Is that water?
Nah, it's a hill. It's a hill.
Volvo, he just went down the ramp.
The driver headed down an embankment onto Interstate 70. Seconds later, he's hit.
He's running across I-70 right now. He just
Damn!
He just got hit.
Golly.
So that's what makes him unlucky. The lucky part was the simple fact that he was able to do all of what he did and not get shot.
And we were stopping it, but I kind of timed it out from the moment that he gave him an order or a command. It was 4 minutes in between that and the time that he sped off. 4 minutes of giving orders that weren't. He didn't do none of that shit. All he did was sit down on that damn whatever it was, transformer or whatever that was, sitting there on the ground. After that, he didn't do nothing else for 4 minutes that man said.
Not at all. Knew what's your thoughts, bro?
If they'd have shot him, he probably would still be living. I just hate to say that, but
I ain't even thinking about that.
Still be living.
I ain't even think about that.
Can you say that again? Can you say that again? I didn't hear you. You said if he. What?
I said if they would have shot him, he probably would have still been living.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it depends on where they would have shot him at.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, he wasn't posing no threat to execute him.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, when it comes to deadly force versus a taser, he's trying to get away. So would deadly force have been, when it comes to this police and what he did with the non-deadly force, I think it was. Do you think non-deadly force is justified in this situation?
I mean, it was.
Right,
don't get me
right,
wrong, but look what it led to.
Right, that's
you get what I'm saying. Like, if you
unlucky
lose,
part.
I ain't saying use deadly force, but if you would have used deadly force with the intent of not killing them, then he might have just been maimed for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
like even when he was backing up and like trying to position the car to go down that hill, they didn't even light the car up at that point.
They didn't even They didn't even reach for their guns.
Yeah.
But if someone's leaving, do you have the right to shoot someone who's
Well,
leaving?
see, once he deploys the taser, right? That car now is because he's under arrest. You get what I'm saying? They ain't tasing your ass and then letting you just walk home and shit. So now he's under arrest. So they could have, you know what I mean? They could have pumped a couple in there if they wanted to. But again, he didn't have no gun. He wasn't really no threat. You know what I mean? If it was a black man, they trained to shoot. You get what I'm saying? They kill that nigga. Don't let him. He probably go do something else tomorrow. Kill that nigga. It could be a dude that's just going to work or something. I don't know. Had a bad day. This is how they trained to do us.
I think he was on something. I said this before we went live to Boss. I'm like, I think it was a suicide. I don't think it was a random him getting hit. Look how dark that road is and them headlights. The headlights are the only thing you see on them old country roads.
Yeah, but you going 80 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour and somebody just come running, it's hard to stop, get out their way, anything.
No, I'm saying from the man's perspective.
Oh, you think he just went out there to
Right. I think
I
he
got you.
just ran out in front because he was already on some sketchy shit. Like, fuck it. All cards on the table. Like, fuck it. I'm out of here, man. Let me wait till this car come by and jump out there. That's how it looked to me.
It looked like he was trying to make it across that road, bro.
That's what I thought. Hey, I thought the same thing.
It looked like he was trying to make it across that road, bro.
Well, I mean, what I kind of felt from the beginning of like when he was stopped is he's a fiend. And I don't know what he was high on, but he was high on something. And the reason why, like, I would even say that is because he's sitting there telling the cops, "I need a cigarette. I need my vaporizer."
Right.
He's like, he is in the car against orders, trying to find a lighter to light a cigarette. Like,
that could be some type of mental health though.
Yeah,
maybe
it
he
can
was
also,
off his meds.
Yeah, he can also be a fiend.
Hold on.
I mean, I'm not
It's one
saying
or the
that
other.
it's not true.
You said
Hold
what,
on.
boss?
Hold on 1 second. I ain't mean to cut you off, Nicky New, but
you good.
If I don't know what he was on, but he was on something. We all know that.
Yeah.
And obviously, whatever he was on warranted him the feeling for a cigarette. He wanted one. You can't deny, bitch. I need a goddamn cigarette. Hey, I'm going to get the cigarette, whether you got this taser or your gun on me. I want a cigarette.
That's why I was saying that. I mean, y'all might think it high, but in mental health, you know what I mean? Or he could have had some medicine and he just needed to calm himself down.
But all right, think about when you get hit with a taser, and think about when you get hit with a taser on cocaine or on meth or on like you not if you sober and get hit with a taser, that shit is not, you not finna react like he got hit with a taser and looked that man dead in his eyes, and we seen that shit. People on PCP, they get hit with taser and snatch the motherfucker out and we're like, wow. Like,
well, what do you think is in them psychedelic meds that they give people in mental health?
Well,
it's a whole rack of bad shit.
I'll just say that whether you have a mental health issue or whether you have a drug issue, basically you understand when you get pulled over by a cop, they're going to ask for your license. Okay, if you don't have a license, you got a problem. They're going to ask for your insurance. If you don't have insurance, you got a fucking problem. You got all kinds of problems if you're behind the wheel and you're driving a motor vehicle and you get pulled over. So no matter whether he was mentally ill or whether he was high, nobody goes around this country thinking that you don't have to have those things in line to be operating a vehicle. And if you don't have them, there's going to be a situation. So at some point, you got to realize that if that's what you're going to do, you got to take your charge. Yeah, and I would rather take a charge of operating a motor vehicle without a license than offer myself up to be shot in the middle of the night on the road.
I don't think they can lock you up for that.
For what?
For what?
For not having the license on the highway.
Well, what?
Listen to what I'm saying. I don't think it's legal not to have a license on the highway. I think you can drive the highway without a license.
Well,
people don't know that, but I have seen people contest that.
Right. And you're going
get away with it.
It sounds like you're going with the sovereign citizen type of argument.
Yeah, but it's only on highways though. You get what I'm saying? I don't think it's in the city limits.
Like I'm
traveling.
Yeah.
You do not have the right to be using a motor vehicle.
I have seen people get off saying that.
Get a ticket
on YouTube. I
have seen the judges lock them up.
I'm just letting you know what I've seen. I've seen people argue with the cop that why they didn't have a license and that they was traveling on the highway. And some type of way, whatever, they know what the fuck they talking about because they get away with this shit.
It's that old adage, man. It's that old sovereign citizen argument.
Whatever it is, I'm just telling you, it's people I have seen like 2 or 3 times on YouTube, motherfucker arguing with the cop, and I'm waiting for him to lock his ass up. I'm like, hell no. I done got tickets for not having my license and my license good.
He said,
I-
"Don't listen to Tyra." Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sovereign citizens have been declared terrorists in
Tyra,
this country.
he's not talking about
And
you when he say it's a YouTuber.
right.
I got what you're saying.
And law enforcement is now having to be trained specifically on how to deal with sovereign citizens. And there's all kinds of videos of cops busting their windshield out and dragging them out. So the way you have to deal with them is like very sensitive, because there's a whole movement behind them. Whenever you pull a sovereign citizen over, you're not pulling an individual over. You're pulling an entire movement over.
Right.
So the way they deal with him is sensitive. But that's not what this dude was.
Nah.
So let me ask this question, because I want to make sure I understand you, New. Like, you say don't have a license, do you mean never even had one, or
They not even telling. They telling the cops, I don't need a license. I don't know if they have one or not, but they don't need a license to drive on this highway. Like,
the fuck they do?
Listen to me. I'm telling you what I seen with my own eyes, and then they come back on camera and say, I told you you need a license to drive on the highway. I'm just saying, this is what I've seen.
So
now, whether they was just doing it trying to prove this point because they knew the law, I don't know. But I'm telling you, I seen it.
So
on YouTube.
That brings, like I said, it's either they never had a license or they didn't have it on them. That's two different things. That's the thing I'm trying to dig into. Do they have one?
It goes back. It's the rights
not
of
sure.
it's a rights. And I'm looking it up now. Shout out to Google. It says, "Is sovereignty a right? Sovereignty is the right to have absolute and unlimited power, either legal or political, within the territory or state. A sovereign state is when a political entity is represented by one centralized government with supreme authority over a geographic area." It's the way I understand the whole sovereignty thing. It's like you're saying that you're not a part of this body of Congress, and you exercise rights outside of the limitation of Congress.
Yeah, you like a third party.
And it's the thing is, it says in modern democracies, sovereign powers rest with the people and is exercised through representative bodies such as Congress and Parliament. The sovereign is the one who exercises power without limitations. Sovereignty is essentially the power to make laws, even as Blackstone defined it. I don't know what that means, but I mean, if you look it up, there's a lot of different, it's a lot of different things that you see about it. And my main thing with that is, why the fuck do you have to be like? I would feel like a sovereign citizen. Why would you be that if you ain't moving keys or doing some shit that you ain't got no business doing? Like it's like it almost denotes that you doing some shit you ain't got no business doing. So you don't want to be. I don't know.
I look at it like this. At the end of the day, him not having a license is not why he got pulled over in the first place. He was driving in the fucking wrong direction.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
So yeah, you are the line already, got it.
He's wrong. He's wrong. Regardless of whatever his reason was, they had the right to pull you over.
Yeah.
So they found out, okay, you didn't have a license. That's not the reason why this man died. This man died because he didn't want to go to jail. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
because like if you're driving in the wrong direction, I mean that's public endangerment. They've got to pull you over. They got to pull you over so that you don't hit somebody, so that you don't hit yourself. They need to see if you should even be operating a motor vehicle for any number of reasons. I mean, they have to pull you over.
Because you endangering people. And the fact that one thing I do want to throw in this discussion is the fact that some innocent person driving down the street now has basically a body over their head. Like that is the saddest part about it, is that innocent citizen driving down a highway now has killed somebody and has to live with that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, look what happened in the end. Like, somebody hit him. They was driving in the right direction, but they hit somebody.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't their fault. But if they were driving in the wrong direction, you feel what I'm saying? You see where it come from? Now you driving in the wrong direction and you hit somebody. I don't even think that's goddamn vehicular manslaughter. To me, I think that's fucking murder. You dumbass.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
they had to pull him over, and they didn't ask for him to do anything other than what is standardly done at a traffic stop. And the person that I was thinking of, and there's been so many of them I can't even think about it, but it was the guy in Minnesota who told the officers that he had a weapon and that it was in the glove compartment and his hands were on the dashboard, and they lit him up and they killed him. You know what I mean? And this guy is like it shocks me sometimes to see like how oblivious some people are to the fact that like they're endangering their own life. You know what I mean? Like this guy is like totally out to lunch. Like he's not even thinking anything like this can happen. I get pulled over and I'm listening to everything the cop says. Period.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking comply.
Yeah,
Period.
Marley 13 in the building. What's good? What's good?
Marley 13.
Marley 13 basically says, and which kind of touched on the right to travel. The right to travel is in our Constitution, and they travel.
I'm reading it right now, bro. U.S. Supreme Court says no license necessary to drive automobile on public highways/streets. I'm reading this right now.
Yeah, and so
this is in 2020.
Is that a state law, or is that everywhere?
The U.S.
You say U.S. Supreme Court, bro. That's everywhere.
That's crazy.
And what is the date?
They say Thursday, October 2013.
The date of the article or the date that was written? Because the thing is, there's some.
This is Thursday. This is Thursday, October 10th, 2013. This is when the U.S.
So why do you have to get a license if that's the case?
What it is it's no law. It's telling you right here that it's no law. Yeah, it's no law.
No.
Freedom. No license is necessary for normal use of an automobile on common ways. The right of a citizen to travel upon highways and transport his property by a horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile is not a mere privilege, which what it say? By a horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile.
That lets you know when this was written.
What do you mean?
The fact that it says in the Constitution horse-drawn carriage lets you know when this was written into law.
If you had to say 2013.
No, that's what I was saying. Is it the article that says that, or
yes, this is the article. This is it's telling
that's
you.
What I'm saying is
when that law was written.
That's what I'm trying to see. When is the actual letter of the law?
So horse-drawn carriage. Okay, so we have. Listen, we do in Baltimore. We got fucking them. They still do the fruit with pulling horses and shit with the big ass things. They do that here. I forget what they call it.
It's the romantic date thing. You go downtown Dallas and they got the little horse.
Exactly.
No, bro. Listen to me. I'm telling you that horses in a certain area in Baltimore, down by North Avenue, they got horses pulling fruit wagons, and you can buy fruit off of the wagons, and they pull these motherfuckers down main streets.
Man, I'm saying though, man, when it comes down to it, man, that law, man, it's kind of like going into the Bible and, people who, read the Quran and say they got 14. Why is that applicable in today's society?
Why not? It's the law, bro. Like if you sitting here reading the law, right, and they telling us, just listen to what I'm saying. If it says the U.S. Supreme says no license, I'm reading this in big bold letters again.
Yeah, I see.
Now, see, you're taking it and you're just putting something on it like, hey, well, I've got my license when I was 16. This is the way to go. But what they're telling you is you didn't have to do that. This is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro.
What up, K Money?
Oh, listen, y'all done touched up. Look at the private chat. There's a link. There's a link. Watch it. My brother do not have a license, do not have plates, do not have none of that. Cops pulled them over for running stop sign. They can't do nothing. They can't do nothing.
Let's check it out.
we done curved off the path, but I like it.
Traffic stop. According for my safety. Just told dude, no, travel.
Keyword travel.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm gonna let you go. You got a couple bench warrants.
What's that for?
Get your license plates and stuff like that. It's just traffic violations.
That was like that was recently, or
I didn't look at the dates. I just saw when I pulled you out to the take care of them. Like I said, man, I get your stuff. Not trying to disrespect it at all. But then and down, it's rules that states, local states pass and stuff like that. That I feel like people got me in the common ground. That's when it comes to.
I got you. I feel you. I appreciate you, brother. All right.
Now he gonna explain it to you.
All right, so no license, no registrations. They pulled me over. I ran a stop sign. Told them about the law, things like that, and they let me go. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. That's how it's going to be. So I'm pulling off, as you can see.
See, my question would be, why didn't he record that part when he was doing this shit, when he was telling them the law? Like,
so that you guys could do it. when you claim you're a sovereign citizen, this is where you have to learn your rights. There's a whole big movement right now.
So my thing is, if you not into no shady business, why would this even be like? What is the what is the motivation behind claiming? Because that's what it's all about, is claiming something. What is the motive behind claiming this?
It's getting out of the system.
So what does it do for you?
It doesn't do anything.
It might not do nothing for the common person.
Well, he don't have to pay for a license.
I'm about to say, look, he don't have to pay his license every year, or he ain't paying for tags every year or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like you are getting something out of it, because what they're doing is not right.
Okay.
Like we should be able to drive.
So
go ahead, New. We're gonna do it one at a time. Go ahead, New. Finish your statement.
Yeah. I think. I mean, just righteously, just righteously. Don't get me wrong. I try to follow as many laws as I can, but righteously, yeah, we should have the right to do what they say. If they put this in the law, then it's the law. Fuck, I ain't renewing my license. Fuck, as long as I keep an ID, I can drive.
Okay, cool. All I want to say is, okay, you don't have a license, so you can't have insurance without a license, or can you?
Hell no, you can't have insurance without a license.
You can't have insurance without a tag on the car.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. So if you hit somebody, like, why would you not want to have insurance? Like,
well, if you ain't spending money on insurance and you ain't paying a car payment, and then you probably must got a couple dollars saved up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, pay that off.
Nobody goes out driving intending to get into an accident.
That's the next thing. Nobody does that.
But
I mean, people obviously buy health insurance.
Irresponsible.
Car insurance for a reason, right? You got.
You say it's irresponsible to drive without a license or tags? Is that what you're saying?
It's irresponsible to drive as if you're not going to get in an accident and cause somebody great bodily harm. That
What do
is
you
a
mean?
better.
Oh no,
Because
I don't
yes,
agree with
and
that.
if you hit somebody, if you are driving a car, you have the ability to kill somebody.
That's true.
Period. Straight up.
If you're walking in the street, you have the ability to get hit by a car. Don't mean it's gonna happen. But no, I don't go. I wouldn't drive thinking that I'm driving and I'm going to make sure I'm going to try and make sure the other person. I'm going to look out for the other person. I'm not going to go out there being scared and ooh, that's
Well, no,
just
it's
negative.
it's
No.
not about that. I
Have you ever
don't.
been hit and had to be rehabilitated by a car? Like people who get hit
So
by,
what?
it can
It
be
kind
so.
of broke up.
Like if they don't die, they can have to be rehabilitated. That's how damaging it can be.
Say that again because it kind of cut out for a little bit.
People cannot be planning to harm anybody. And you can do great bodily harm to somebody where if they aren't dead, they have to be completely rehabilitated. It's not a matter of, thinking positively or negatively. It's just like logic behind the wheel.
So
If you operate a car,
let,
you can kill or do great bodily harm.
absolutely. Let's think logically about this now. Now,
Oh, good.
it's when it comes to insurance, if and you might be the best driver in the goddamn world. I'm not doubting nobody who can drive or who can't drive, but you just got off of work, man. You tired than a motherfucker. You done worked a 12-hour shift, and you start dozing the fuck off, and you hit some damn body, and you kill them. Guess what? You goddamn gonna get sued, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And they got every right to do so. Now I'm not saying you committed a crime, but if you don't have insurance, now they finna drain everything that you got.
And every
Don't you
state
think?
operates differently
Yeah.
because in some states, it's the injured party's insurance that has to take care of the accident. And in other people's state, it is the driver's insurance that has to take care of it. So there's
Don't
no
you
universality about that.
Don't you think if you're the one driving without any insurance, without any tags, you're going to be extra careful?
Right.
No.
I know I would be.
No.
I sure would be. I
But
can't
I
afford
don't want those people.
you know.
So a drunk driver. So that's when I hear that, I think about the drunk driver who you're completely sober, and this person who's a sovereign citizen and they're drunk at the same time. How do you decipher that? Like I don't know.
No.
You lock their asses up.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple.
Wouldn't you say to combat that, make this motherfucker have some registration and insurance?
No, because if he had registration and insurance, the same thing would have happened.
Yeah.
He committed a crime too, because he was DUI.
Exactly.
So does that mean you can drive drunk and just say,
Bro, DUI is a DUI, whether you got license or not. Like
So
it's
what's
the same.
So what's the difference?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. It's no difference. I'm telling you, it's no
I
difference.
think to the dark side. Like I'm really feeling the darkness over here.
Like now, when you get locked up for the DUI or the DWI, now you gonna get hit with no license, no insurance, all that. All that's gonna be a crime then. You get what I'm saying? But
So
that's the
it's
chance
only-
you took.
But it's only you're saying it's only applied to those who have committed drinking while under the influence.
I mean,
I think it should be across the board, man. That's all I'm saying.
What
percentage?
But the law doesn't say that. Is what I'm trying.
What I'm saying
to
morally. I'm speaking of
Fuck
morals.
morals. Look at the law, bro.
Okay.
Law tells you.
The law, like the law. Listen, the law tell us stay in the house. We stay in the house. The law say you can go outside. You go outside.
Morally,
you get what I'm saying? We always listening to the law. Like now, the law tells you, like, nigga, you don't need this to drive your car.
Okay. So right there, when you say it's the law, okay, so it's the law that in some states a 16-year-old can be with a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old. So
that's the law. That's the law.
Morally, well, I'm just bringing it to a moral standpoint. because when you deal with everything, it boils down to morals, religiosity, and all of this. It's morals, right? There's right and there's wrong, and you believe that it's okay or it's right.
Hey, bro, let me explain something. My grandma was like 13 when she first got pregnant. The man was like 18, 19. Nobody, no laws was broken or none of that. Whatever those laws came into about, having the pedophile laws or whatever, that shit just came in to me like in the 60s or the 70s.
So morally though, like
listen, what I'm saying is morally, these are morals that we have gained now because of what we've been told. You get what I'm saying?
Do you think
if
they're
you write
good?
all,
Go ahead.
I'm not put it like this. At 19, you couldn't tell me yes or no. You get what I'm saying? I don't know at 19. I'm fucking 48 now, and of course it looks weird being 48. But when you're 19, you know what I mean? And you see a 15-year-old that looks as old as you get what I'm saying? And she can manipulate your mind, or if it's not against the law, they can date.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't talking about no 60-year-old man with no 13-year-old kid or no 18-year-old. I ain't talking about that, bro.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about in like you say, in moral numbers.
It's still morally. When I'm just throwing this out. When I was 19, 15 couldn't. I'm looking at 20. I don't know.
Jeez, we just became citizens. You guys are so young. You guys are so young. We
Think
just
about this
became
though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Like legal.
Go ahead, Kayla.
You know. Oh my goodness. Back then Oh, anyway, no. I'm going to keep this for another day because.
No, go ahead.
We were okay because we were not. Black people were not. How could I put this in a nice way? We were less than human to them. So we didn't care. We weren't in their laws, first of all. Okay. So that's why they made those laws, being able to drive, whatever, but it's coming back to haunt them now. That's what I'm going to say. Because you got people now.
Get back to YJ now. Hey, let me ask you a question. Now go back to when you was 15. If a 19-year-old hollered at you wouldn't have hollered at a 19-year-old?
See, you changing the whole.
I'm changing the scenario. That's right. You yourself at 15 wouldn't talk to a 19-year-old.
I mean, the goalpost was there, but it's not.
Thank you.
You just moved the goalpost.
He moved that goalpost.
I don't hear none of that shit, bro. Listen, he said the goalpost was there. That's all I need to know.
No, but I said that because you basically just moved the goalpost. That was not what we.
But they keep moving the goalpost. They got women. I see women, older women with younger guys. Me, I say 5 years is enough. Anything above 5 years or below
I'm
5 years,
if you. Yeah, and then it goes into if you legally this age, then it don't matter if he's 60 or not. We seen the shit fucking, what is it? Al Pacino just had a baby. He 80 years old.
God
and his wife is what, 25, 30?
I don't know how old she is, but I know she ain't 80.
I know, you know what I mean? That's
crazy. I see the 77-year-old on the short that I would date.
But you know what? I think we all have noticed, and it's always an exception to every rule and every goddamn law, man.
Exactly.
We've seen this shit happen on several different cases where we look like, wait a minute, on this case, this motherfucker got this charge and they got this many years, and then this person did not get that much. We know that happens every fucking day. So it's nothing you really can do about it. Because I think somebody put in the chat, like, I think it was D Love. She was like, hold on, what was it? I can't remember what she said. She's like, who owns something? I can't remember what it was, but y'all know, check the goddamn thing. But
we are simulcasting. So Marley 13, if you don't see what he's talking about, it's we on Boss Channel and the Bank Channel.
Oh, my fault. I should say that. Yeah, we are simulcasting from my channel and the Bank Channel. So if you comment, you feel like you haven't been addressed, it might be on a different channel, but we trying to address them all. My fault.
Yeah. No, you good. Keep going.
But I just feel like the laws are always gonna have an exception. Rules gonna always have an exception. It depends on who you are.
Right.
Who is the person involved? That's the end of the discussion. And I think we know without us even have to go in depth with what I'm trying to say. That's just what it is.
She said, "Who does the land belong to?" That's the comment you talking about.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to. Yeah. Who does the land belong to? So if you go to a establishment and somebody get away with cussing somebody out, and then you try to do the same thing, and you wonder why the fuck you got kicked out, or the law enforcement came and hollered at you. Bitch, look at your skin. That's why, motherfucker. It's simple as that.
or even just to bring it back to the state versus the feds. Okay, you got states that medical marijuana is legal in, but recreational use is not legal in. But the federal letter of the law says that all that shit is not legal.
That's right.
So
It's legal here.
Where you in Canada, right?
Yes, baby.
Okay. So yeah, you on a little different type of time up there.
Oh, we on a whole different type of time.
But that's all I was just pointing out, because when Boss is talking about it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, the feds say this, the state say this. You live in the state. Ultimately, you live in that state, and the feds are not going. What the feds say, I think is less important than what the state say, because you live in that state.
I just
but I thought the feds had trumped everything.
But
that's what I thought.
My thing, I guess when I say that, it's because the feds are not gonna do. They have a whole 50 to take care of. If all of these 48 states was one state,
okay,
then the Fed, I think, would what they say would. This is just me breaking it down. I don't know if it's true, but in my mind, there's 48 states all connected. If that's one state, say the whole 48 states was called Texas, and the state law of Texas was this, or the Fed law was this for these 48 states, then it would be different. But it's a difference in there.
Nick, you've been quiet. I know you probably been trying to chime in. What's your thoughts?
Oh no, I was just listening. My thoughts about what?
Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna do final thoughts after this, and we're gonna start with you. Y'all sit tight, man. We're gonna play this, and then we're gonna do our final thoughts, because we've been on here for an hour and 30. So y'all sit tight, man. Hey, this was a motherfucking awesome ass live, man. Y'all sit tight. God, I don't never want to disrespect you, but you're telling me to trust you when I never met you. I send you prayers every day, but I don't want to sweat you. And I know you's a busy man, so I try to catch you. But sometimes when I call, I can't get an answer. I get the voicemail, so a nigga leave a message. I got a lot of faith, so I'm not second guessing. So when you get a little time, I got a couple questions. First of all, let me acknowledge every single blessing. But right now I'm going through it, and your son's stressing. I know you say with every test there gon' come a lesson, but lately things been hectic. You took a big part of my heart, that was a really big section. The feeling really was rejection. I lost my job, then my wife, then my brother, then my mother. If I fell short, I need an exception. Cause at that time I was working like a madman. I know I'm speaking past tense, cause motivation I ain't had since. My lack of patience I've been asking to put it in a bag that's plastic. Everything been tragic, and no, I don't believe in the magic, but I'm sick and tired of dealing with this damn madness. I need a handkerchief that's made with the same fabric that was in my mom's casket. That's all I'm asking. And I wish she had her mask on, cause if she had her mask on, maybe then she wouldn't have passed on. I'm sick and tired of singing sad songs. I know this the devil's work, but he need to carry his ass on, cause he consistent, he don't never quit. I've been dealing with some hella shit. Hey God, can you just tell him this? I don't see him, he's irrelevant. In the room there's an elephant, so he should know that I've been heaven sent.
Let me vent. And you know one thing about it, they say faith is all that's needed. Cause when you walk by sight, it seems all deceiving. Remnants of Ephesians. It says, for by grace you have been saved by the faith. And this is not your own doing. So in a sense, you gotta keep going. When the devil's lurking. Let me see if I can do this.
Let me see if I can do this. Let's go. I feel it's hard to have a conversation with you now. Cause it been so long. Hold on, let me sit down. Let me chill. Probably cause I don't know if it's you or just my conscience speaking. My pops would've told me that's nonsense, we can go further. Do tell. Mid-30s, I'm still searching, but I don't know if it's working. If so, then Lord, give me a sign. Like when that car crashed, how do you decide who lives and who dies? So many questions need an answer. What's the agenda? Like how my grandma get dementia? I need an answer. Like what is cancer? I ain't talked to you in a while. I know I'm out of line, but can you hear me now? I don't know if you gon' take this the wrong way. If it's hit or miss, then I might straight miss. Okay. Matthew 21:22 say whatever you ask in prayer, you shall receive. If it's faith indeed, just let it breathe. Yeah. All praises to the Most High. You might say Allahu Akbar, Yahshua, Jesus, vaya con Dios. Same difference, tomato, tomato. You know? Yeah. Salute.
That touched my soul. That song touched my soul. Jeez. I'm gonna tell y'all, that song touched my soul, okay? I couldn't find the fire emoji. So I spelled out fire in bold letters. Nice song, guys.
We're going to go ahead and do our final thoughts on the topic of the discussion of the night. We had a couple of them. And we're going to go ahead and start with Nikki New, man. Go ahead and drop your jewels on your thoughts tonight.
I mean, I live two types of a life, right? Like in my soul and in my spirit, I feel very free. I feel very loving. I feel very peaceful. I feel very unbound. In my actual physical life, the life that I live, like as a woman and as a disabled woman in this very chaotic world, I live a very endangered life. And because of that, like I said earlier, I assume everyone is strapped. I assume there's a gun in every car, in every house. I assume people are willing to go off in a second. I do what I can to avoid confrontation, and I stay ready to have to defend myself. And we can't be in the dark about, no matter who we are, this being a very violent world with very violent outcomes and deadly outcomes to the kind of situations that we think we should be able to resolve easily. But I no longer believe there's easy resolutions to those type of situations. So I live on guard, but I have to live in the world, but I have to dwell in my spirit. Because in my spirit, I can't have those things be removed from me, or I won't feel like life is living. So that's how I live.
Well, we definitely appreciate that, and I respect everything you said. It is what it is. You live how you live and what makes you comfortable. Nikki New, I appreciate you for coming up
Love you.
and sharing your thoughts and your opinions. I love you. Next up, we're gonna bring up a big sister.
I just came. I heard you guys talking about the sovereignty. I didn't catch the other part of the live, what you were talking about. But Nikki New, I want to say this to you. Not is it Nikki New? That's what you call it. It's Professor Cupcake. I'm with you. I'm a spiritual person, and you have to go with your spirit. You know, follow your spirit. I love that about you. But I just came up to show you what I know about what people are doing out here. When you guys started talking about the horse and buggy, I said, no, this is happening now. So let me get up here. So I just wanted to tell y'all that. But and boss man, I am way behind in music, brother. I need to get back on your music because that was fire.
I appreciate it.
I love you all, and I'm out of here.
I appreciate you. Thank you for coming up, sis. You know it's all love over here, baby. All right. Y'all know I gotta go next with my bro, my Wody, Jizzle.
Yeah, man. Yeah, when that album dropping, bro?
The album will be dropping 6/21. You ain't got too much longer, man. You ain't got
6/21. That's all the fuck I got to talk about in this motherfucker. You feel me? Yeah, man. 6/21, man. That's what it is.
2
man.
weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. That solo project dropping. One of the Bank Music Group famo, you know. So that's all I really got to talk about, man. Y'all, man, show up, man. Show up when that thing show up.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. All
I got
love.
to say. I done said everything else about everything else. So that's all I had to say.
Hey, Jizzle in the building, people. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, bro. Salute.
Yeah, man, this is a great live, man. I definitely appreciate everybody who tuned in, whether it was on the Bank Music Group channel or my channel. I appreciate y'all, man. This is a great live. It was a great discussion. I feel like everybody voiced their opinions and their thoughts, and everybody's thoughts and opinions is valued over here. Always remember that. Remember, you're always welcome on the panel. I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable coming up. That's fine. I'm going to try my best to make sure I put everybody's comments in the chat on the screen so everyone can see it. But yeah, this was a great live. The world is the world. I know it sounds weird, but at the end of the day, what we see is just. I don't want to get spiritual. I'm not even gonna do that. But it was said in the Bible, what we're seeing right now, it's supposed to happen. So I feel like there ain't nothing we can do to stop it. People always say, hey man, get out the damn house. For what? For what? Don't let the world dictate how you live your life. No, I want to live my life as long as possible. And I don't trust a lot of motherfuckers, including the boys in blue, including Karens. They don't give a shit about me. But my daughter give a shit about me, so I got to be here for her. You feel me? And I ain't going to go no farther than that. Like Jizzle said, I'm going to lighten the mood for a second, man, because we really did get a little deep. So I'm gonna lighten the mood for just a second. Hopefully y'all can vibe with me, man. Hopefully y'all can vibe with me.
This is Arm & Hammer in this.
Too many niggas on the floor, we gotta fix that. I seen no chicks popping up at a kickback. Well, I'ma light this bitch up like a lit black. So sit back, the song for the big bag. I see a bad little breeze, gotta get there. Shit, yeah, I'ma holler, you can sit there. Cause I don't know how many models I'ma get, yeah. Bottle at the bottle, watch the pretty models follow me. Be jerking at the party, after party, they gon' swallow me. I'm sorry, let me stop this, I'm just geeking like a rocket. If you ain't speaking on the topic, sorry, baby, I can holler at you. Speaking about $1 coming out, it's not a problem, cause I'm trying to make it holler. If you want, then you can follow. I can be your baby father for your throat. I load you up until you choke. And tell my driver, let's go, let's go. If you look real good and you keep that body looking right, and this is your night. If you got that bag and you spend your money, you can spend it how you like. You can spend it how you like. Have a good time. I'm about to make a toast. I put my glass up. She put her ass up, so I threw some cash up. She got her own bag in the back of that dump truck. Like the boys in Big County, I'm trying to ride a big dump. She can get what she want. I give her what she needs. And then her head go up and down like she got a sneeze. Then I'ma bless her. Shawty already blessed her. God already blessed her. And me, I'm just trying to catch up. Like an interception. I'm just trying to catch up. I'm hot dog, no ketchup. And I'm just trying to undress her. Release some pressure. We taking every measure. And if I gotta put the work in, then put me on schedule. Well, big girls need love too. Skinny girls need a hug too. You can be 42, 52. I done seen them lift 32. I don't guess that clean. I'll be in between. I'll take a MILF and dive in a sweet. Am I in this? Feel good and you keep that body looking right.
it's going down tonight. She winked her eye, caught her strutting in about 11 o'clock. One time, is you ready or not? She said, I got all night. No red wine, cause I got on white. Yeah, just my type, it's going down tonight. Tonight. She got her high heels on. Loving the way she moves. Loving the way. Grown folks in the building. And she had a long week at work. She tryna freak and flirt. I can't blame you. Do what you do, and I'ma do me. Is that cool? Cool. She said, yeah, I'm just trying to have a good time. Come on in. One time. If you look real good and you keep that body looking right. Keep your body looking right, baby. Body looking right, baby. It's your night, baby. It's your night. That bag and you spend your money how you love. You can spend it how you like, baby. It's good time. We gon' have a big time, baby.
Y'all have a good night, man. Appreciate you. One love. I'm gone.